Pwede tayo mo-perform, gamay. Okay. Woo! Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that I was able to do that show for you. Did you like it? I'm very happy. Do you know how many training I needed to do when I was young to do this? I started when I was 6 years old to practice because I come from a service family, 6 generations from my father's side, 4 generations from my mother's side. So I started really young to practice juggling. And it took, when I was very young, 1-2 hours a day. That was a lot of training. Welcome. I'll do the juggling again if you like. Don't worry. I started juggling when I was very young and practicing 1-2 hours a day, which for a little boy, that's a lot of hours. Then later on, as I became a young adult, from 14 to 22, I was practicing 5, 6, up to 8 hours a day, every day. And many times I didn't see I was getting better. Sometimes I felt I was doing the same thing over and over again. But I persevered. Thank God I persevered. I think that's very important for all of us. At the casino in Monte Carlo, and when I arrived, I almost went every single day to church to pray. Because, let me tell you, I was very surprised during my confirmation class to understand, to realize that Jesus Christ is present in the Holy Eucharist. I wasn't taught that when I was young. And when they taught me that, and I went to adoration, when I prayed in front of the Holy Eucharist, I couldn't believe that there are churches everywhere would not be filled. Thank you. Okay, I hope you hear me. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, I trust you. So as I was saying, I was very surprised to realize that Jesus was present in the Holy Eucharist, and I couldn't believe that the churches would be filled all over the world to be with Jesus, because he was there, humbly waiting for us in the tabernacle in adoration. And that's why I wanted to go to church every day in Monaco. In Monte Carlo, I wanted to attend Mass, do visits, pray. I felt so good to be together with Jesus. And I said, God, what do you want me to do with my life now? I'm so happy with you. And there in Monaco, I met a Catholic movement that was a real help in my life. I met the Reigning Christi, and I saw that inside this Catholic movement, there were many young people that gave 1 or 2 years as lay missionaries, as co-workers. And I said, wow, that's really beautiful. I wish I could do that, I said to myself. And I thought that it was not possible because I was an entertainer. Silly of me. That kept in my heart, and I said, well, wait a minute, why not? I want to try to give a year to God completely, because God has given me so much. I'm going to try to spend a whole year dedicated to God and others. So I decided that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, if I would be able to do it, because it was something completely different than what I was used to, show business. But I tried, and I was sent to Rome for a 1-month formation course with other young people who decided, as me, to give 1 or 2 years. And after that month, all the young people were given different destinations around the world to help the church. And I was given the destination to go to France. And I asked, why France? And they told me, because it's really a mission country. There are so many young people in France that don't know God and need to hear about Him. I was surprised to hear that, and I said, okay. So I went to work with a young seminarian, and we toured France. And went to a lot of parishes, did a lot of youth groups. Suddenly, I was juggling for others, thinking of their good and not my own. I had, to that point, always juggled for myself, for my pride, and for money, and for fame. But then I forgot about it. I said, no, I'm using this for others. I want to make them happy. And that really started to change things. That really started to change so please. As the months passed by, I realized that that year became the happiest year of my life, up to that moment in my life. I was really fulfilled. And it's a paradox. Christianity many times is a paradox because during that year I was trying to forget myself and think of others, to help others. And that was when I was the happiest. Before that I had a lot of success, a lot of things, but I wasn't happy. So that year I said, okay God, I'm so happy trying to do your will. Maybe you're calling me to a religious life, to the priesthood, or to form a family. So with a lot of prayer in front of the Holy Eucharist, with the good aid of my spiritual director, and a lot of rosaries to Our Lady, I was asking God to guide my life. And what gave me a lot of peace at the moment is that I was open to any vocation. I wanted to do God's will, and that gave me a lot of peace. And with my spiritual director, we saw that I think God was calling me to form a family, to have a family. And so I decided then and then, before I left the year, to start consecrating my future wife to God. I said, well, I don't know anybody, I don't have a girlfriend, but I know, God, if you want me to marry, that you know which girl that is. Where is that girl? And I said, well, since you know it and I don't, I consecrate to your Sacred Heart and to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, my future wife. Every single morning, I said that prayer. Every single morning. When I did my morning prayers, I did the act of faith, hope, and charity. And in the act of hope, I said, I trust you, Lord. I hope in whatever you want. And I trust that if you want me to get married, that you know who my wife is. So I consecrate her to your Sacred Heart and to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Guide her, protect her, lead her, and guide her to me today or in 10 years. I said that prayer every single morning. I went back to show business, and I was traveling around. I remember the first contract I got was to work in Japan. It was great because after you give a year to God in the church, you come out feeling like St. Paul with a sword. You want to conquer the world for Christ. And the next contract I got in show business was a show in Ito, Japan. It's a small, not in Ito, sorry, in a small town, Dogashima, in Japan. It's in the Izu Peninsula. They built a hotel in this big rock near the beach with nothing nearby, so people could go there to relax. They had a show there, and I was hired to perform there. But there was nobody there. I remember the cast was only 4 dancers and me. And I said, well, I'm going to convert these 4 dancers. Which didn't happen. In the beginning, it was very hard. It was hard for me to speak to them because we were there the whole day performing in that show. So I said, what am I doing, God, here? I'm used to going to church every day. I'm used to having Mass every day. And I'm here. The closest place where there's a Catholic chapel was an hour's away by bus, a bus that eventually passed. There was no timetable. We had to be outside the hotel and